Yeah. We are cooking. We're cooking right now. We have a lot to discuss. We have the Combine on Friday. We have a message from Howie Roseman to all of the Eagle fans regarding Eagles free agency and the draft coming up as well. So interesting on that. And we will talk about Bryce Huff getting traded with speculation already in the air right now to dump his contract. And Myles Garrett to the Eagles is more realistic than I ever thought it would be because it was all over NFL Network, okay? And they will jump in front of the Commanders to make sure that he doesn't land in the NFC East if it's not the Eagles. I'm telling you right now, it's going to get crazy. We're going to talk about all this, so let's get straight into it. Let's go.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Hope everyone is enjoying their work week. This video is sponsored by BetUS, so definitely go check them out if you guys have not. We have a lot to discuss here. Finally, we have the Combine in a few days. A lot of excitement there on some of the top prospects in the draft. But the Eagles have an entire offseason to get through, especially in March, with looming free agency, looming trades, and how many moves are the Eagles really going to make? Now, Howie Roseman did put out a statement towards the Eagle fans regarding free agency, regarding the draft, okay? And this was a message put up by Zach Berman. Howie Roseman asked fans for patience while the Eagles put together the roster this offseason, okay? Quote, unquote, from Howie Roseman, it may look different. Some of the moves that we may have to make here may not be what are necessarily on other people's minds. It's probably not going to look like maybe the conventional wisdom thinks it should look. I would just ask our fans just to have patience throughout the offseason. The offseason doesn't stop in free agency. The offseason doesn't stop in the draft, okay? This is what I really expected here, okay? This is a team that's 90%, that's 90% complete right now. Even if you sit this roster at where it is right now, with Milton gone, Josh Sweat gone, Gainwell, maybe Isaiah Rodgers, depending on what's happening here, this is still a very good roster for another Super Bowl run. Okay? Another very good roster by itself as it sits. Realistically, for me, this team wants to produce. And we have to get used to this because we're not used to this. Go out and sign this one and this one and this one. You know, having great players on paper is great, but producing guys, you know, the more you produce guys, the more you draft well, the more you produce well, the less you have to spend in free agency. Like, that's the best thing about it. Instead of going out, and because one guy doesn't work out, you have to go out and spend a lot of money. And the Eagles don't have to spend a lot of money as of right now. They're going to restructure. They're going to make some room, especially for this season and for the next offseason in 26, okay? All you got to do realistically, in my opinion, is to re-sign Zach Bond, okay? You re-sign Zach Bond, and I will have my arms crossed. I'll be sitting in the shade. I'll be comfortable as I've ever been, and I will sit back and watch Howie Roseman do a fantastic job in this 25 offseason. Okay? I have no issues with any of it, honestly. I have no issue. And if they don't make the big splash move, this roster's still good. This defensive line is still good. Besides a couple pieces missing, and yes, guys have to leave. You can't re-sign everybody. The offense has to change. You know, this offense has a blueprint now where teams are going to see a lot of tape on us this past season. You're not coming into this season as an underdog. You know, you're going to be a big target for a lot of teams that they're going to want to beat you badly. And every little win in the regular season, or if the Eagles lose a game, that winning team will celebrate like it's a Super Bowl. Okay? So, as for patience, it won't be the most heart-dropping big moves because the Eagles roster offensively, besides Mekhi Becton and Kenneth Gainwell, it's a good offensive roster. And defensively, you're missing a couple pieces. Realistically, you're missing a few, obviously, on paper. But I think there's going to be a lot of retainees, a lot of re-signs. That's going to be your free agency. Your re-signs, maintaining players, maintaining some of these contracts will be your free agency. Locking up guys. So don't expect the big move, but I think there still is going to be, look, it's all smoke and mirrors at the end of the day. Howie's not going to give you his hand. He's not going to give you his plan. He's not going to show all of his cards. I think that's really the big message as of right now. But when it comes to Howie Roseman, there's always something behind the closed door, okay, that no one sees but him and what he's going to do. Hence why I'm going to go to the next thing, which is it was all over NFL Network. All over NFL Network. The report from rumors, this is from Jeremy Fowler at ESPN, okay? He said the Eagles could potentially try to snake the Commanders if they think Washington is close to trading for Myles Garrett by jumping in and making Cleveland an offer they can't refuse. Sounds like the Eagles would want to prevent Garrett from landing with a division rival. And it makes sense because the Commanders have a lot of money. They're only going to get better. The Commanders are just going to get better. We'll see what Jane Daniels does after one great year, okay? We'll see what he does. But they're going to get better. That's really our big competition within the NFC East in the division right now. And if Myles Garrett is even close to signing with the Commanders, the Eagles are going to say, nah, we're going to swoop right in. We're going to even make the deal even bigger. And Myles Garrett will be playing next to Jalen Carter for the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't care what the draft compensation is, doesn't care about anything, will jump in just so he doesn't become a Washington Commander and another player the Eagles will have to deal with within the division this season in 2025. Okay? Getting Myles Garrett is not a need, it's a luxury. It's not a need. It's not. And yes, of course, they can go out and trade for a Travon Walker that had 10.5 sacks or something like that. There's obviously other moves out there that if the Myles Garrett thing doesn't work out, you know, I think regardless, Myles Garrett I still think the Eagles have interest in Myles Garrett. I don't think the only reason is because they don't want the Commanders to get him, but significantly, like, Jalen Carter, you know, not a high sack season, but man, just what he's done. I mean, this is Aaron Donald 2.0. Next to a Myles Garrett that's ring chasing, that's hungry, and every time, and I've seen the interviews with Myles Garrett, every time he talks about the Eagles, he has a smile on his face. And I understand he's talking about a lot of teams. Well, this team needs that, and the Commanders need an edge rusher, and they need that. You know, he wants to get to a championship roster. And I think Myles Garrett he's actually very surprised, and he feels really good about, you know, watching the young guys in Philly. I remember watching that interview. He's like, oh, those young guys in that D-line, those guys eat. Those guys play. They play hard. They play fast. He's got really nice things to say about this defense. And every time they talk about it, he has a smile. They say Philly, he smiles. Like there's something up. There's something up here. I don't think this is nothing. But to keep him out of the division, like Howie Roseman's going to be like, I don't care if we don't need Myles Garrett or not. If Washington is close to getting him, we're jumping right in there and taking him from him. I don't care how much I don't know if he's saying I don't care how much it costs draft compensation-wise. And obviously, Myles Garrett is open to a new deal. Okay, which, you know, he's an $18 million cap hit next year or this year in 2025. So this is going to be an interesting, this is really the only big move I see them doing. And everything else is either retaining, re-signing, or you're getting depth players in this offseason. And that's where I'm kind of at right now with everything. Okay, so we'll see what happens here. But it's gonna be really exciting to see what they do. Okay. And if you guys haven't checked out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch, definitely go check it out. We have a small little bundle of the high sprung polyester champion, Jalen Hurts champion shirts, the hallway, all of that great stuff. Definitely go check it out. Great fabric, doesn't peel, doesn't fade, doesn't do anything. It's really good quality. It takes about 45 minutes a shirt for him to make these. So, they take a while. So when you buy, you get what you pay for, guys. Definitely check that out. Check out the Main Thing t-shirt as well. High sprung cotton, really good t-shirt. High quality print, doesn't fade, nothing. It's a very good t-shirt. Sold a lot of these already. And we appreciate it so much. Link in the description for all of these and in the live pin comment as well. So we appreciate everybody who has ordered as well. So appreciate so much. Now, we're going to get into Bryce Huff. There has been some speculated rumors, okay, that Howie Roseman could get rid of this. Let me tell you something. If they can get rid of this Bryce Huff contract, man, Howie is a G. I mean, he's still a G, but he'll be more of a G if he can get rid of a bad contract. I still don't get this signing. I still don't get why, and I still feel to this day that this was a panic move by Howie Roseman when Hassan Reddick left, and obviously we didn't know what Nolan Smith was going to do because he wasn't doing much at the time, and it was the offseason. Okay, we didn't know what to expect from, we didn't know what to expect from Nolan Smith in the beginning, obviously in the regular season. So $51 million, okay? Taking on the contract. It looks like Bryce Huff could be traded to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, interesting enough, why this would make sense, because Jeff Ulbrich is the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. And I think he worked with Bryce Huff when he was on the Jets in that deep rotation where he was successful in 2023 with 10 sacks, double-digit sacks, first time in his career. So this would be wonders for us if they could dump this entire contract off and not have to release him post-June. Look, let me tell you something. Bryce Huff not playing in the Super Bowl as a healthy scratch told me everything I needed to know about how the Eagles feel about Bryce Huff. I think we all know this, okay? I don't think Fangio even wanted this guy here. I don't, because I think Howie signed him. Fangio, he was like, try to do something with him. Fangio, first day of training camp, someone asked him, what do you think Bryce Huff, could Bryce Huff be a 3-down edge rusher? He said, no, I don't even think he's close right now. And you paid him $17 million a year, okay? We were complimenting Bryce Huff post-bye week on just getting a pressure. I mean, we were throwing popcorn at him. We were giving all these compliments, and we were reaching just for him to play better. And I don't know, guys, realistically, like, I just don't know if he can really add anything to this team. If he's non-productive at high money, I don't want him taking snaps away from Jalix Hunt. I don't want him taking snaps away from Nolan Smith. What if I'd rather have 37-year-old Brandon Graham at that position playing right now than Bryce Huff. Okay? It's not Bryce Huff's fault. He got money. He got a big deal. The Eagles valued him more than what he's actually worth because he's not worth much. He's not even worth that much to start right now. He had the minor wrist surgery. He came back. He had a club on one hand. Like, yeah, sure he's going to play well with a club on one hand. And then finally had the club off and was able to get into some playoff games, barely like 1 snap, 2 snaps. I mean, he barely had time. Super Bowl, there was rumors during the Super Bowl he wasn't going to have any snaps, that he was going to be a healthy scratch, but he was actually inactive. Completely inactive for that Super Bowl. So what does that tell you? There's no trust. There's no trust in that player, and it's a mistake. So, and this is only, they're only connecting this because his past coach that made him successful is now a DC for the Falcons. So I guess it makes sense in some regard. But I have the Eagles trying to dump him somewhere. Where, I don't know. But I feel like it's going to happen sooner or later. And I guess we'll find out when the time comes. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with that. Now, lastly, the Eagles did re-sign Lou Nichols to the running back for running back depth. Okay, so obviously with Tyron Davis Price, I think it's become one of my favorites, honestly, when it comes to the running back, since Kenny G will be walking in free agency as of right now. Okay. I feel good about the depth here. Like I think out of like the entire I think the entire offseason program last year, I think I liked all these backs that we had, like, but unfortunately you only keep a certain amount. They'll add more backs in the offseason program, obviously, whether they draft one. This is a very, very deep draft at running back, and you can get one to the middle, late rounds if you really want for a rotational guy for 4 years. I would say, go in the 5th round, go in the 6th, 7th round, something like that, if that's where you want to go. Obviously getting their off-season, players together, re-signing guys and things like that. So we'll see what happens down the road with this running back position with Kenny G leaving, the Will Shipley situation, if he's going to be that number 2 back. All is to be said, and we'll see what happens going forward. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot to discuss. What do you think of Howie Roseman quotes of being patient? And what do you think this offseason quote actually means? And what do you guys think of, Myles Garrett going to the Eagles, jumping in front of Washington, saying, nah, he's coming here. You want to take him? It's not going to happen. Because I think in my mind, I think Myles Garrett rather be with the Eagles than he would with the Washington Commanders. And that's just me. That's just me at the end of the day. So go with the team that's been at the VIP table a lot of years already, okay? Because we're gonna go there again, and we're gonna make it back to the Super Bowl again. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe to the show for more Eagles news every single day, and make sure you like the video because it helps out tremendously. Appreciate all the support. And check out the Philly Shakedown merch. Like I said, it's really good. We have a bunch of new stuff that's out. Definitely go check it out. And I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.